pretty big stories coming out of there.
Very big deal, yeah.
Jason Collins is the first openly gay player in North America to play for an NBA team as of last night. He played 11 minutes for the Brooklyn Nets. They signed him to a 10-day contract, which is really weird, to see, I guess, how things went. And they won. They beat the Lakers last night. And it's kind of a big deal. I mean, he said it was good to be back. And I guess it's a big. It's obviously a big deal. What do you guys think about the whole thing?
I think it's.
I don't even really watch much basketball.
Well, it is a big deal. Last night it made history. I know it's only a 10-day contract.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams seem to be doing this lately with these veterans, because Jason Collins is 35 years old.
Yeah.
He's been out of the game ever since he came out publicly last year. So he's been kind of doing this little tour around the NBA, and it's great for him. I'm glad that the team took a shot at him. I really didn't know much about Jason Collins. I don't really think anyone knew much about Jason Collins. So I don't know how his stats are. I don't even know what position he is.
I can look him up. But, no.
I would assume.
I'm pretty. He's either a power forward.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's
either
a
4 or
5.
He's a 4 or 5.
But if it makes the Nets a better team, then listen, I'm all for it. They're struggling. With their lineup. And the
every team in the East is struggling.
You look at the Atlantic, and it's just like you look at the Raptors are the only team above 500.
The Wizards are in the playoffs right now. If the season ended, the Wizards are in the playoffs, and even my girlfriend knows how bad the Wizards are.
I was just gonna say I don't watch basketball. I know how bad.
But the Wizards are. I'm from DC, and it's just notorious how bad they are. They're 500. But apparently in the East, that gets you a 6 seed in the playoffs, which is.
But Matt, you look at the East. The Bobcats. Are the 8th seed, and they're 10 games below 500.
Yeah, no. If the top 2 teams in the East would make it in the playoffs if they were in the West. The West is so good.
Yeah,
and they would be pretty up there. The two teams in the East would be up there. I'm sure they're one of the. I haven't seen the how much better they are than the rest of the league.
I believe OKC might have the best record overall. It might have changed because they dropped 2 straight.
Yeah.
But they you see Westbrook comes back, and it kind of upsets the equilibrium a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Look at that word you're pulling out.
Listen,
equilibrium.
I don't even know where I'm pulling these words out.
The law firm.
The law firm.
This is law firm.
This is the law firm, Matt. We use big words.
You're clearly doing your reading.
But you look at them, you look at the West, and it's just unreal.
So much better.
You look at how many teams. Phoenix. I don't think anyone could have picked Phoenix to be in the playoffs. They're cruising.
Apparently they're doing really well.
They're cruising.
Yeah.
They had. I believe they have maybe 35, 36 wins. They're the 8th seed. They have everyone is doing very well in the West, and it's not as much as in the East, where it's just you have the 2 powerhouses in the Heat and the Pacers. The Pacers, they don't even have any big names. They have kind of like these semi-stars, Paul George and all of them.
The Pacers?
The Pacers, yeah.
Yeah, they got Roy Hibbert,
Paul George.
Paul George, what's his name? Stevenson,
yeah.
And then who else?
They traded away
Granger?
Granger, yeah, they traded away Danny Granger.
They said they were going to do that.
Yeah, he's been hurt though.
Yeah, and they said that he was hurt all most of last year, and that's when the Pacers started coming on.
Yeah.
And they said that he was going to disrupt the team. They just said that he was just not going to bode well in there, and hey, it's a big decision for them.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to think what I'm looking up the stats for Jason Collins for us a little bit. There's really not much.
Yeah,
he doesn't really do that.
He wasn't
much.
a big name. I think he's 35 years old, so he's played probably around 10 years. It's safe to say 10, 12 years.
Yeah, around that.
And I think he's played 12 years and played with 7 different teams. I think that was the stat. So he's not a big name, and I'm hoping that the Nets didn't.
He's played 8 seasons. Yeah.
Oh wow, only 8. Wow, okay.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm a liar. I lied to you guys. He's played a lot more than that. He's played 8 with New Jersey or Brooklyn. He's played 3, which is 11 with Atlanta. Okay. And then he's played 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's played 15 seasons.
Okay.
Yeah. He had 1 with Atlanta, 1 with Boston. I'm trying to find a points per game stat, but no one has any of that stuff. At least this site doesn't. It's not good. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, the point I was trying to make is I hope that, Brooklyn didn't just sign him as a publicity stunt, just to be like, oh, well, we're going to be the team with the gay athlete, and, no. I hope that they signed him just because, and strictly because they're a struggling team. They have one of the biggest, if not the biggest, salary cap with their players. If you look at their roster, it's completely stacked.
They're so underperforming this
and
year.
You look at whether it's Jason Kidd or
let's hope not.
Garnett and Pierce. They're getting up there.
Yeah.
They're in their 30. I think Garnett's 37, 35, something around there, and Pierce is the same way. So I'm hoping that they signed him for strictly because they can help. He can help them out and he can help them perform.
Yeah.
That was the first thing, because I hadn't been keeping up on this, but when you said 10 days, I was like, did he come out as gay before or after the contract?
He came out as gay last year.
Yeah, last year.
It was
so he was like, all right, I'm gonna remove my. It's kind of like what's his name, the American soccer player who was playing for Leeds. I can't remember, but you know who I'm talking about. He came out gay, and he left soccer for a year, and then he came back, and now he's on the Galaxy. Okay. Collins, I pulled up his stats. I'm sorry it took so long. He averages 3.6 points per game over 15 years. His best year averaging 6.4, and that was in 04-05. So yeah, he really doesn't. I mean, I guess he's a contributor, probably on defense.
Yeah.
Rebounds per game, yeah. I mean, just crazy. He's just a career 3 points, 3 rebound a game guy.
Yeah, he's like the 10th player off the bench.
He has a 15-year career, and he gets minutes, man. He averages 20.7 minutes a game.
That's a lot.
What do you do?
Yeah.
I guess he's a defensive presence.
Yeah, listen, I mean, a lot of those big guys are defensive people, so, the stats are kind of deceiving.
That's true.
You don't want to go into there, you see them, you're like, oh, man.
I feel mean. Jason Collins, I'm sorry. I know you're listening.
Yeah, he's one of our biggest.
Obviously,
big wall firm. He is a great guy.
I'm so sorry, Jason Collins.
We have a very big following from Jason Collins in the Kazakhstan crowd.
Yeah, dude, I know. That's actually the top 2 demographics.
Top 2 demographics,
Kazakis and Collins is
an entire nation in one.
It's just people with the last names of Collins. They just all follow our show. So yeah, I mean, that's just, it's an interesting development with him. We'll see how it goes. It's so weird to me that it's a 10-day contract, and that's what I'm hoping to, like what you said. It's not like a publicity stunt where it's like, oh, we had him for 10 games. I mean, he played 11 minutes last night, which is pretty good because he just signed the contract and they kind of just threw him in, and it wasn't like it was a blowout against the Lakers either way. It was a close game. It was 108-102 was the final, so it wasn't I mean, maybe he came in and they were just they were killing him, and then the Lakers started coming back. I don't know, but I'm assuming that didn't happen. So yeah, I mean that's one big basketball news. The other one is Westbrook has come back for Oklahoma City, and they're the best team in the NBA, as Steve pointed out, and they're actually they've lost their 2 games with their big, their number 2 star coming back. From injury, so it's kind of interesting. I always feel like the media makes such a big deal about Durant and Westbrook's relationship, and I think it kind of gets so blown out of proportion. Like, I think they obviously know each other to the point where they both want the ball, and the coach is the one who's like, "Yo, you're giving it to Kevin Durant every time it's like the last minute of the game because he's Kevin Durant.
He's a monster.
He's the second best player in the NBA." So, and I'm sure there's a little jealousy from Westbrook on that point, but it is interesting to see how. I mean, it could be like a Granger situation where it's like, will he just? Maybe he is so good, but is he gonna basically derail the team from coming together and being a stronger team overall? I mean, what do you think, Steve?
Well, it's hard to say because with Westbrook, you look at the stats they put up. I believe at one point last year, they were both averaging close to over 30 points a game.
It's ridiculous.
There was a stretch where I remember seeing the scroller on the bottom of ESPN and seeing Durant with 38, Westbrook 31. And then both putting in great rebound numbers, great assist numbers.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's hard to say, that there's any conflict
I mean, the Clippers aren't a terrible team.
Oh no, by no. I mean, you look at the teams they lost to. You look at the Clippers, and first of all, you gave up 125 points to the Clippers, which it doesn't matter who you're playing. You could be playing the St. Peter's Pee Wee team down in the city. You give up 125 points. You're not going to win.
You sound like Jim Mora from
playoffs.
Playoffs.
Kidding me?
A lot of people don't know. In the beginning of the speech, he says, "First of all, he's like, you give up the ball 5 times. I don't care what level you are, Pee Wee, high school, college. You're gonna lose the game." So.
But it's it's the truth. You give up 125 points. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You're not going to win.
Yeah, no, you're not.
I know the Clippers are a dynamic team, but you're not going to win that.
That reminds me of like the old Mavericks, like before they were winning the championships, like when they had Steve Nash and Dirk on the team, and they were just like, the games were like 125 to 120, and it's like, we're just not going to play defense. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, same with
the Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix with D'Antoni.
Yeah, with D'Antoni.
Back in when D'Antoni was there, it's just like, defense. Playoffs.
the D and D'Antoni doesn't stand for defense.
Yeah, they just not.
But I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, I think that it's unfair to criticize Westbrook, or Westbrook and Durant's relationship. It's only been 2 games. You look at a couple years ago with the Miami Heat. The first year that the big 3 came together, and they started off horribly. They were below 500. They couldn't gel. Yeah, this is 4 years ago. I remember there was one point where they were like, everyone in the media is saying, break up the big 3, break them up. They can't win. And it takes time. It
does. Well, yeah, I mean that, and I think everyone kind of put the whole big 3 notion on the Celtics, because the Celtics came in. It was their first year together. Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and Kevin Garnett. And Rondo wasn't even like a main, wasn't even getting recognition at that point, and they just gelled immediately, and they won the championship that year. So everyone kind of expects that to happen, and it wasn't. They honestly struck gold from that, and I think everyone kind of holds that standard a little too high. I mean, maybe Kobe and Shaq is another example. When they were at the Lakers, they struck gold right away, But yeah, with the Heat, with the Thunder, I don't know. I think it's just a little different animal.
And I mean, also you look at Durant and Westbrook, and they're kind of playing the same position.
They're both perimeter players, and
it's awkward watching Durant because he's a 7'3" and he's on the perimeter.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the anti-LeBron, because LeBron's maybe at 6'10", 6'11", and he's more of like an inside post guy.
LeBron's 6'8", KD is 6'10". He's not quite 7 foot.
I believe you.
Dirk's I think 7 foot though, and he pops them. Maybe he's not. He's probably Kevin Durant's size. Yeah. Anyway, you're almost close to 7 foot tall, and
it's so weird. It's so weird seeing this tall, lanky guy.
Yeah, it's not as weird as other big players. It's not like our because Kevin Durant's kind of skinny, so you're like, okay, like he steps back, he's like he just uses his size to his advantage, but I mean, it's not like you're seeing Shaq shooting threes from the perimeter. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's got to be tough for Westbrook. He's like, really the only team where like the 6'10" guy is shooting 3-pointers.
The only team his luck.
Yeah,
but
I mean, we're doing it even just by accident. We're just like saying, "Oh, it's not really. It must be weird for Westbrook."
Yeah. And also, I have to give my shameless Raptors plug. I
can't believe you're a Raptors fan. Like,
it's a long story. It might involve dinosaurs and the color purple.
You got to explain this.
Yeah, you have to.
The Raptors came out.
First of all, explain where you're from.
I was born and raised in Mount Vernon, New York. Lived here my entire life.
With a 49ers shirt on right now.
I'm wearing a 49ers shirt. I don't know if you can see it on the webcam, but I'm a
ridiculous.
I'm a 40.
Jason Collins, if you were wondering.
Jason Collins, Kazakhstan.
I know you're watching that.
If you guys are watching,
Jason Collins. Yes.
He's like, I can't believe this.
He's wearing a 49ers.
He's wearing a 49ers shirt.
He is.
This is malarkey.
Kazakhstan fans are just up in arms.
They're up in arms right now. We actually have a live feed from. No, we don't. Carl took the day off today. Our stat guy.
Thanks, Carl. But anyway, yeah. So you're explaining.
So my story is I'm a 49er fan.
Yeah.
I'm a Toronto Raptor fan. I'm a Rangers fan, so that's my only New York normality.
That's like the capital.
East Coast, West Coast, Canada.
I'm if you look at my
no, it's East Coast Canada.
It's East Coast, West Coast. I need to be like a Texas Rangers fan or something like that for baseball.
Oh, God, please don't. You do need a central though.
I do need a central team. Like I was going for the Twins. I was going for the Twins at one point for baseball. To kind of just complete like the polygon that is my sports teams. But yeah, I mean.
So how did you
for the Raptors? The Raptors, they came out in '95. So I was 3 years old when they came out, and like every 3-year-old, I loved Barney. Who didn't love Barney? I mean, let's be honest.
Okay,
and I was a big dinosaur fan as a kid. I loved dinosaurs.
I feel like that's something with like the '90s kids. Like every '90s kids I talked about, like loved dinosaurs. Like when I was growing up, I knew every dinosaur. Like
I saw Jurassic Park maybe 40 times.
Yeah, every kid loved dinosaurs. We're getting a little off topic.
This is on nuts.
You love dinosaurs.
So my favorite color as a kid was purple. I loved, but a manly purple though.
So Barney was huge.
So Barney was just amazing. He was a purple dinosaur.
Doesn't get better than
I was just infatuated with this guy, and and as I got older, 4 years later, I started watching basketball. I started playing basketball, like the Pee Wee leagues, and the Raptors came out, and their jerseys are purple.
Yeah,
they're purple dinosaurs on their jersey, and I'm like, what?
It was written in the stars.
That is the first story I think I've ever heard where Barney was a direct reason why you started rooting for a specific sports team.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
that's
a good story.
It's a great story.
Yeah, I started watching them, and then they drafted Vince Carter. They had Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady came in.
T-Mac.
Charles Oakley came from the Knicks. Antonio Davis. I mean, I could talk all day about this stuff.
Yeah, they had a legit team. They made it to the.
They were. Don't even get me started on this. I hold this gripe till today. Vince Carter had a 3-point shot to send them to the NBA Finals. They were playing against Allen Iverson.
Yeah,
it was the year Allen Iverson won, or Allen Iverson played against the Lakers. I'm not sure who won that year.
No, it was the Lakers.
It was the Lakers. I think that was when the Lakers three-peated.
Yeah, because it was that year.
And I remember watching the game live. It was one of the first games I remember. And watching Carter they were down 2, and he had a 3-point shot rimmed out. And
I remember that.
I was heartbroken.
I watched that. I remember that because I actually used to have. I had an Allen Iverson jersey, just because that was like I said, like after Jordan retired, I didn't have any team to go to. And so I was like, I guess Allen Iverson's really good. And that's
everyone loved AI. I think everyone like in their 20s.
Everyone except for his wife, who got beat by him.
We won't go there. That's the other law firm part.
That's another case of
Allen Iverson. If you want to hit us up for lawyers, we have our number.
That's another fan group that's up in arms right now. Is the Allen Iverson family?
Yeah, they're
really upset.
Good friends of the show, but.
So anyway, yeah. So
my shameless Raptor plug.
The Raptors plug, yes. They are doing well.
Listen, they
wouldn't make the playoffs if they're in the West, but yes, they're doing well.
Listen,
for the East.
They are 32-25. And I'm sorry for saying this, but I've been waiting like 10 years to say this. They're first place in the Atlantic. They're the 3rd seed. The way it is right now, they're going to be set up with the Wizards.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna give. I'm not like a huge Wizards plug, but I'm gonna give a DC plug right now.
All right.
And I've been to a Wizards game this year, and I'm not gonna lie, they got some talent on that team. Okay, John Wall, Jason Beal.
Yeah, John Wall.
And John Wall. What's his name? He's like the big guy from Poland. He is a monster. The guy is ridiculous. I'm sad that I can't remember. I voted for him on the Twitter for the All-Star game. I can't remember his name, but he's a beast. They also have that guy Nene.
Oh yeah, Nene, good old Nene.
Yeah, good old Nene.
Does he have a first name? No one knows
he
his
doesn't
name.
have one.
He's just Nene.
That sounds like soccer.
Yeah, he's from Brazil. He's from Brazil.
Yeah. He is from Brazil.
So I guess he
only has one name by law. That's how they do it.
By law, you only have one name.
Actually, if you look up their names, like in Brazil, like their real names, like Ronaldinho and Ronaldo,
it's always like 7 words
It's
long.
literally, it's so long. It's like longer than like Spain names, and Spain is like really long too.
You wonder why they're only called one name. You actually look at their real names, you're like, oh.
Because for my whole life, I had to say this long name, and then I'm tired of it.
But yeah, I mean, as a Raptors fan, maybe call me blissfully ignorant, but I think
props.
They can get past Washington, and then that'll set up.
They will.
That'll set up like the Raptors Heat, and like the little kid in me would die to see the Raptors and the Heat in the postseason.
Don't say that.
And to knock off the Heat. Oh man, I mean, maybe get a little ahead of myself.
I want to get.
I'm getting a little.
What's the break?
I need to calm down.
You knocked off the Heat. It's ridiculous. Oh man, it's Gortat is his name.
Gortat.
Dude, he is huge. We when I saw him live, right? This guy is like he's like a tall guy, right? And so is Nene.
Yeah, Nene's
Nene like has some like he's gonna. I mean, their fan club is gonna be really mad at me, but he's not like put it this way, he is not even close to the tone and just like literally Gortat looks like just like literally pure muscle, and he looks like his other job would be like working for like the Russian mob. Like he really does, and he's 7 foot tall. He's just like he's ridiculously.
Now, can he play? Can this Gortat guy play?
He can play, but he does make bad decisions sometimes. Like I saw him play Golden State. And the Wizards scored. This is actually. I'm not gonna lie. I think we stopped their bad streak for a while because we saw them when they lost against Golden State. They scored 36 points in the first quarter. The second and third quarter, they didn't score 36 points combined. Like it was really bad. Like they scored less than 15, 16 points that quarter. But and they took him out because he's just inconsistent. But hey, I mean. Who knows?
Yeah, you need a big guy. Every team needs that big guy. You have a big guy, no matter, if you can develop him, every team needs that big guy. That's the nature of basketball.
The East is so bad that, like, the 3 through 8 are just going to be, well, I don't want to say, 3 through 8, but, the 3-6 game and the 5-4 game are going to be, like, up in the air. Who's going to win? Like, I don't know.
But see, the interesting thing about the East is, regardless of their record, we'll make this quick, the Bulls, don't sleep on the Bulls.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on the Nets. Because I know if I was the Raptors or if I was the Heat, I doubt Indiana. I doubt either of those teams get the 8th seed. But you look at their playoff experience. Yeah. You look at the Bulls. The Bulls play everyone well. They'll score 60 points at the end of the game, but they'll play everyone well.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the Nets. The Nets are like the Celtics. The Celtics last couple of years, they played the Heat, and they were 1 game away from knocking off the Heat both years in a row.
Yeah.
So they kind of have that the Boston catalyst kind of moved over to the Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't count either of those teams out. So it's very weird
true.
how the East
that
is.
That would be crazy if the Heat were knocked off by Brooklyn.
I don't think the Heat are going to win.
Brooklyn loses the next series, they just get swept.
Oh, yeah.
Just because
I think that any team that beats the Heat is going to get swept or lose in 5 games, in the next round. I can't see it.
I would like to see Indiana go. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's Indiana. I mean, they don't really... I don't know how many people... I just... Go them. They're like a lot of players that they're players that were drafted but kind of drafted under the radar, and they've stepped up and they're like, I mean, last year was like, who are these guys? Like, where do they come from? And then this year they just turn it right back around. So
yeah, I think it's good for the NBA to see new teams in there, rather than just seeing San Antonio and Miami.
San Antonio.
I think we're all tired of San Antonio.
Yeah.
And all those
Sorry,
guys.
San Antonio.
And one last point before we go to break. I don't know if you guys saw Syracuse yesterday.
Yeah, second straight loss. Another team with 2 losses straight.
2 losses straight. Continue that theme. And Jim Boeheim yesterday was absolutely furious.
He lost it. Yeah.
And he ended up costing the team the game.
Yep.
They were only down 2 or 4 points.
I think it was 2.
I think it was 2 points.
2 points and it was a charge.
It was a charge. And, if you didn't see the play, it wasn't a charge. It was a pretty bad call.
Yeah, it was bad.
But those charge calls are so touch and go that, anything can be called.
Yeah. I think his reaction too was just like, I mean, I didn't really see it. I mean, I saw his reaction, but a lot of times refs, they really overemphasize the charge call, so they'll just, especially in college, they'll just do that emphatic point.
It's one of those like the first down football where they kind of like a little dance, and then they and
then the ref just gets kind of too involved with it. And I mean, I don't know if this was the case, but it was at Cameron, and I can't see it, a ref not giving an emphatic point. And I know a lot of people complain about it. It's like, just do your job, and it's just, I mean, we'll see. But yeah, they've lost their second straight with, and in case you didn't know, their season before that, they had been undefeated. So they're kind of hitting some speed bumps. A couple of sports writers are saying that, we're saying before they even lost their first game, that they needed a loss because it'll just prepare them for the NCAA tournament to work on their flaws. I am so against that. I think I wanted to see an undefeated team. Wichita State's still undefeated, right?
Wichita State, the Shockers.
The Shocker. They're shocking everyone.
They're shocking everyone. Listen, they were a Final Four team a couple years ago. People forget about this.
They, no, I would like, I want to see a team do it. I mean, the last team to do it was in Indiana in the 80s, and it'd be really cool to see a team, go undefeated and actually win the whole thing in college basketball. I mean, I know it's all about the underdogs, and I root for the underdogs, but if there's a team that, is just that dominant, it'd just be great to see. I mean, I really don't like Syracuse. I don't really like Boeheim that much, but props to a college team that if they can go all the way and go undefeated, that would just be so cool.
And also, last point before we go to break, let's do I want to plug here. Winners of 11 straight games.
Yeah, they barely. I mean, they only won by 3.
A couple squeakers.
Yeah.
A couple squeakers, but listen, a win is a win.
The girls team's doing great too.
Everyone's doing well. I think the men are 19-8.
Yeah.
Now they were.
Yeah, I think they are. Oh yeah, they're 19 and 8.
Yeah, they had a very slow start in the beginning, but listen, they're clicking on all cylinders right now.
They really are. They're doing really well. I'm just always nervous because Iona has a tendency to do great in regular seasons, no matter what sport it is. And then they go and blow it in the MAC final. So let's hope, guys. Great job. We're really proud of you. Just keep it up and go all the way.
NCAA tournament, ladies too. NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Hopefully for both of you guys.
Yep.
We made it 2 years in a row, and let's try to make it a third.
Yeah. Good job, guys.
So we'll take a quick break and maybe come back, talk some soccer. Ryan, you alive over there?
Ryan,
you're alive. That you're awake.
Want to do that? Yeah.
All right, let's break Ryan up for a little bit. Law firm. Be right back.